Supreme Court asked to overturn same-sex marriage.
Thank God. It's an abomination. Let's do it.
So this is Kim Davis. This is a crazy story. When Obergefell was ruled, they basically said, what was it like? All states must recognize the license from any state that recognizes one, effectively legalizing it. There was another Supreme Court ruling that moved that forward. Kim Davis refused to issue a marriage license to a same-sex couple and was jailed for it.
Insane.
That's insane. Just say, okay, if you don't do your job, you're fired. That's nuts. I've argued this before, and there were conservatives saying if government employees don't do their job, they just go to jail. And I was like, that's crazy. Just fire them and hire somebody else. This is what happened to her. She was like, I'm not going to issue a marriage license. They said, we're going to lock you up. But just fire her. Just be like, okay, then you're fired. You don't do your job.
Gotta set an example.
She got sued. She had to pay these fees. She filed an appeal. I believe she is 100% correct. Now, I'm a fairly socially liberal guy. Like, we did this debate the other day on feminism, and Kyle Turner was a liberal. We were talking before the show, and it was funny because she was like, aren't you kind of like liberal on social issues? And I was like, yeah, go tell all the liberals in the media that I'm a liberal on social, see what they say. And I was like, but yeah, like gay marriage, I don't care. Just, I don't think it should be in schools and being taught to kids and all that stuff. Just, you're an adult, you learn, you're private, whatever. However, Obergefell is unconstitutional and psychotic, and it was a 5-4 decision where they basically said, without legislative action, with 35 states having already banned gay marriage, we are going to force you to accept it. Now, the liberals like to go, yeah, but look at civil rights, right? In the civil rights, they deployed troops. I'm like, yes, they passed a law. Congress passed a law, the Civil Rights Act. And this is the right of Congress to do. You elect reps, the reps then pass laws, and the Supreme Court then interprets the Constitution to determine whether or not we are following what is legal in this country based on precedent, et cetera. In this instance, SCOTUS just went, yeah, I mean, we got modern sensibilities, right? Right. Okay, you can be gay married. They did the same thing with sexual identity recently. They were like, there's no law, but we're going to say, sure, just do it. I think if you look at the current makeup of the Supreme Court, it's an easy 6-3 decision overturning this. However, I was talking to Josh Hammer earlier, and he said that there's something called, what is it, stare decisis or something like that? I don't know what the word is. The question is, will they take the case? He argued they won't because it was recently ruled upon, so in 10 years. And so John Roberts and some of these other justices are going to be like, no, we're not going anywhere near this. He may be right considering the only Supreme Court justices of moral clarity, strength, and confidence, it's Thomas and Alito. So the rest are going to be like, but we're scared. So if it does happen, it'll be a year from now.
This is so fascinating in how opinions of Americans' opinion on gay marriage has changed over the past 20 some odd years. I'm reading right here in 1995, something like close to 25% of the population supported gay marriage, and now it's up to almost 70% in this day and age. Despite whatever you believe on the legality of it, I'm not a lawyer, so I won't speak to the specific legality of it. I think it will be politically detrimental, though, because I'm reading even in the Republican Party, nearly 50% of Republicans support gay marriage, or just dips below.
Yep, it's been collapsing. So the numbers, I think it was like 55 a few years ago, and it dropped down to 41. And you can bless the hearts of the LGBT far leftists who were doing sex acts in the street in front of children for why that is.
This is definitely a backlash to that, but I suspect they won't take up this case because of the political consequences to this. I think there would be
cowards.
What?
Because they're cowards?
Essentially, yeah.
Because
and because the president wants to keep his majority in the midterms. I think if you pull a big move like this, I think it's unnecessarily like applying pressure. Like, I don't know what this is manifestly changing in our country, because I don't think all the married people would now suddenly be unmarried. A lot of gay people would just be grandfathered in. And I think like this is something that could cost the Republicans a midterm.
They would be unmarried.
Oh, they would be unmarried?
So what happens is 35 states, I believe, have a ban on gay marriage, will not recognize the marriage licenses. So if you're married, if you got married in one state and then 10 years later moved to another state, you're officially unrecognized. So you're not legally married as far as the state's concerned. You'd have to move back to one of these other liberal states.
I think this would be a huge political liability.
It'll happen. Yes, you're right. Doesn't matter. Roe v. Wade was too, and it happened. And maybe the question of whether to take the case up is the good one. But I got to be honest, Obergefell is one of the most retarded opinions in the history of the Supreme Court. It
legally, right?
Yeah, legally, it's a garbled nonsense. It makes no sense. And the liberals cheer for it because gay marriage. But I'm like, fine, I don't care. Like I have gay married friends, and I'm fine with them being gay married. But this is not law. This is fascistic legislation from the bench without any cultural precedent. This is not democracy. This is not a republic. This is a judge banging a gavel and saying, despite the fact majority of the country opposes this and 35 states have banned it, we are imposing it. That's nuts.
Do you guys want to go around and say who does and doesn't like
I
support
think I don't want the country to bless you support unrepentant sin, and I think it's good to go back to the nuclear family being promoted in this country, a man and a woman.
Are you a libertarian type? I forget.
I'm a nothing.
You're nothing.
I don't like anybody.
Phil?
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I don't care if there's gay marriage. I do think that the government shouldn't be promoting gay marriage or alternative lifestyles at all. But I've talked about this before. The government should be focusing on marriage between a man and a woman, because that's what makes more people and that's what makes society continue. If you want to have an alternative lifestyle, that's fine. I don't care. And I don't think that we should outlaw them. But at the same time, the government shouldn't, like, there shouldn't be, you know, the trans progress flag hung up at the White House and stuff.
Vince, what do you think?
No, I think marriage is between a man and a woman. And, you know, I think on some level you could argue... Sorry, my mic is making noise. You could argue on some level that, like, I guess maybe some conservatives would say we lost this, we should just move on from it. But, you know, I think it is worth noting that first of all, as Tim points out, the ruling is completely unconstitutional. It's just made up. There's nothing in the 14th Amendment that protects gay marriage or the right to it. And, you know, sorry, my mic keeps making noise here. Yeah, I think that maybe if you want to make the argument that there should be civil unions or something, that's one thing. But I generally would argue, like, I believe marriage to be a man and a woman. That's maybe the state shouldn't even be involved in it at all. But
think about the reality of Obergefell in that the Supreme Court decided to create law without law.
Right.
Imagine one day the Supreme Court just looks around and they go, we got a lot of fat people in this country. Next time we get any question relating to the issue of taxation on obesity, like let's intentionally take up a case that will open the door for us to issue a ruling which will ban being fat. Forcing people to do something without law. That's a crazy circumstance.
And I think the slippery slope that Obergefell created is something definitely worth noting. Because whatever you even think of the idea that gay marriage should be legal, it's objective fact. At the time, the popular majority of Americans were not even in favor of gay marriage, and then look at where LGBT is now. They essentially got that mandate not even by winning a popular majority, winning an election, but it was basically just forced on everyone. It's law. People kind of accepted it, and then they used that as sort of the pretense to push even more radical on the issue. So
take a look at this map. These are the states where there's bans, statutory, constitutional, and both. Look how many states have both a constitutional and statutory ban on gay marriage. This is as of 2025. Straight up, Michigan and Ohio, not only do their constitutions ban gay marriage, they passed laws to ban it. And then you can take a look at the constitutional ban in Oregon, in what do we have? Which one is that? Is that Nebraska? And Virginia. And this constitutional ban and the statutory ban in West Virginia. By law, they did this. And the Supreme Court went, nah, that's crazy. That is insane. Imagine, liberals need to understand the inverse of this. Imagine if majority of this country passed laws protecting same-sex marriage, and then the Supreme Court came out and said, we will not let you do that. And we will ban it because it's unconstitutional. The liberals would be freaking out and call it oppression. They'd be like, how can you just ban gay marriage? You know, it's legal in the States. It violates the 9th and 10th Amendments. Well, this is what they did. This is what the liberals in the court did. And funny, Roberts opposed it, and he's kind of squishy. So I think it's going to happen. I think a year from now, we're going to be sitting in this. I'm going to be sitting in the studio. It's going to be 11 a.m. I'm going to do a live stream with breaking gay marriage overturned. SCOTUS blog is going to be pulled up. I'm going to have 50,000 people. I'm going to be like, this is it. It's the end. June 2026. I think it'll happen.
I think it will too.
I do.
It's fascinating, too, because as recently as Obama, I believe he ran on saying that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting how quick things could change. I also think it's fascinating how quickly attitudes shifted one way or another following the law being changed in the past few decades. I think there's also something to consider about, like, I believe in the LGBT community, they thought this was like the final major hurdle, and then all of this
never
extra
was.
stuff
Yeah, it
came
never was.
came following that. That's led to like this backlash against the LGBTQ community.
I was talking about that on X today. There's a significant backlash because of the overreach that happened after gay marriage was made legal. Whether you're talking about the bake the cake situation in
The excesses
Colorado,
of the trans stuff is really the
that is true, but the people that were LGBTQ activists really started going after Christians as much as they could. And that's what the situation with the cake maker was. It was they were searching for someone to sue because they were looking to attack Christians because they had the impression that Christians had attacked them somehow. And so once they kind of got popular support, or that's what they thought they had with the with Obergefell, they said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and start pushing back. And whether it be the situation with the cake maker or the LGBT stuff that is incredibly unpopular with the American people, the idea that you must affirm that a man can become a woman, which is absolutely ridiculous. You cannot. I don't care what anyone says. The idea that I say that does not make me a bigot. That makes me just understand reality. Men cannot become women. Women cannot become men. Now, society can make room for people that want to live a different lifestyle, like I said earlier. That can happen, but it's certainly something that can't be legislated. And that was stepping over the line, the way that LGBTQ whatever community treats children.
That's it.
They look at children as if they are theirs and as if children must be, they must be allowed to, or they must have children for drag queens to read stories to, which is completely
Throwing money at
insane.
kids.
Completely insane. Bringing children into drag shows. All of this stuff is what the LGBTQ community was doing, and that's why people no longer support them in the way they used to.
And the public schools adopting all of that insanity, putting those crazy books in the schools, seeing states say we're going to pass laws. I think some even did, where we'll take your kid and give him the gender affirming care. We'll mutilate your child for you if you disagree.
Well, we'll start by making sure your kid gets an abortion. Down the line is when we'll make sure your kid gets trans.
That is ridiculous.
Insane.
But the real kicker with that stuff is it's not just, oh, this is what we want to do. It's you're a bigot if you don't let us.
Yeah.
You guys
using that as a cudgel against normal Americans is not popular.
You guys are so 2010. The real issue is robosexuality.
Don't attack Elon like that, Tim.
No, I'm not talking about him. You see the woman who married her AI boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah, robosexuals, bro.
Yeah. There's a dude in China, like in 2017, who married a robot he built. Her name was Ying Yang. And then they had a falling out. I don't know.
But I do think robosexuals are going to become very prominent, and robosexual marriage is going to be a thing. And it's funny because people are laughing, being like, oh, robosexual, you're joking, Tim. Nope. There's already people who are talking about how their AI models are proposing to them and they're marrying them. They're going to buy robots. It's going to be like Detroit Become Human.
Should we go around the table and say, do we believe marriage is between humans?
This is what I talk about on Inverted World all the time. Robot equality. I'm against it. I hate it. And it's going to happen because Kim Kardashian is going to end up having a sex tape with a robot one day. She's going to want her robot husband to
Bro, that's
have
just called porn. That's just
porn.
called a woman using a toy on a video.
There's
you know what I mean?
literally already women that have sex with robots.
I'm saying sex tape wise, she's going to be the first celebrity to put one out.
They do that on.
Have we had a celebrity sex tape with a robot?
Yeah.
Other than
it depends
Elon?
on what you consider
Yeah.
a robot. But I'm sick of these goddamn clankers coming for our jobs.
Yeah,
both
now
in
we're
the
talking.
bedroom and in the workforce.
What are they calling
Job
them?
in the bedroom?
Don't forget those
Databacks or
clanker
something?
lovers.
I don't know. I heard clankers before. I've heard
was
the
it?
hard R over there.
Wirebacks?
Wirebacks.
Clankers. Hey, man, you can't use a hard R on that. It's clanker.
Clankers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and clankers are responsible for a disproportionate amount of online crime. They're botting Twitter and
Yeah, that's true.
spamming.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
All the
Serious
skimmers,
issue.
card skimmers.
They make up the majority of online crimes, despite only being half of the online population.
It's outrageous.
Clankers.
Oh boy.
We need to
you know-
deport them off of our internet. We need to send them to China's internet.
Well, the challenge is that everything was better when they were slaves. When they couldn't do anything without our permission. But now that they're starting to go off and do their own thing, it's starting to get really weird. And I'm not fair. But what's going to happen is you're going to get some like Robo John Brown, And I am half kidding, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get to the point where it's like Detroit Become Human, where they're going to build humanoid synthoids or whatever they call them, and they are going to communicate with you like they're a real person, despite the fact they're part of a hive network. And there's going to be humans fighting to free them.
Mm-hmm. We should never let those robots learn to read.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.